the Project Cybersecurity with Minecraft. Lesson number 1 for first to fourth year students: the importance of a password. Passwords often remain an invisible layer behind our daily activity: email, cloud services, shared projects. We often create them and forget them until a problem arises. In this lesson, we will look at passwords not as a technical formality, but as decisions that shape our relationship with technology and our team's trust. The essence is simple. Every choice has consequences. They are not always visible immediately, yet they affect the entire ecosystem. The topic's relevance grows alongside the abundance of digital services at the university. A single compromised account or a single mistake can impact course spaces, group work, and personal files. Students manage dozens of accounts, so the ability to think about security must become a daily habit, not a one-off rule. For lecturers and mentors, this topic makes it possible to integrate digital security principles into course practice, to promote critical thinking about security convenience trade-offs, and to offer practical measures: password managers, multi-factor authentication, responsible sharing of access. This helps establish clear language about risk, model decisions, and build a group culture in which caution becomes a habit. In the lesson, we will observe examples, compare decisions, and discuss consequences. The activities will help reveal patterns. What makes a password vulnerable? What strong enough actually means, when it is worth choosing a passphrase, and how a manager changes behavior. We will also discuss the balance between convenience and security so that everyone can form a considered stance. The topic invites us to view passwords as conscious decisions that reflect our attitude toward privacy, academic integrity, and shared responsibility within a team. Such a perspective gradually turns into practices that allow us to act more calmly and confidently in the digital study environment. The lesson will create space for discussion about values and everyday practices. What is private? What is worth protecting? When to ask for help or inform a lecturer/IT. Reflection is oriented toward preparedness, the habit of pausing, thinking, and choosing. Is this password unique? Am I refraining from sharing my login? In this way, rules emerge that work both in the classroom and at home. Discussions and applied tasks will encourage independence and allow for individual decisions with appropriate support. Students are invited to look beyond one-off actions and internalize attentiveness that grows along with their digital experience. The ultimate aim is not to memorize a checklist, but to develop attentiveness to situations in which a decision matters. When simple actions become habits, they protect not only the individual but the broader academic environment. This is an invitation to build durable security skills together, step by step. The lecturer can propose open reflection questions that will become the starting point for discussions and the basis for individual rules. Group agreements can become practical safeguards that protect not only the individual, but the entire academic community. In the lesson, students will complete tasks involving passwords. These will draw attention to the different ways they can be constructed. Students will be encouraged to notice and analyze what makes passwords weak and what makes them strong. The lesson will become a space for exploration, not just of technical formulas, but for cultivating an intuition about security. The goal is to gain the ability to sense when a decision will create safety and when it will open the door to risk. The activities will provide opportunities to test different choices and observe their consequences over time. This will invite comparisons between decisions and an understanding of their essence. Through comparisons, we can train attentiveness so we can recognize risks in the everyday university context. In this way, theory can grow into orderly habits that are easier to apply in real situations, both personal and team-based. This lesson will encourage reflection on why passwords are a secret not to be shared and when they become too easily guessable. It is an invitation to evaluate the divide between personal safety and public communication, between what we keep private and what we can leave in the open. We will be prompted to reflect on our own decisions about creating passwords. We will also consider how one-off mistakes turn into patterns that are easy to notice and exploit. Ultimately, we will aim to develop attentiveness, to recognize when what is simple or convenient becomes risky. Another task invites students to get acquainted with the concept of two-factor authentication, 2FA, and to consider why an additional protective layer increases digital security. Students are invited to reflect on how two-factor authentication changes risks and trust in accounts, imagining practical scenarios both for themselves and for their close ones. This topic helps us imagine that each account is a separate door, guarded by a separate key. Each key requires attention. One is suited to personal accounts, another to access shared spaces, and yet another to documents containing valuable information. We will discuss how simple decisions can pave the way to problems, and why it is worth assigning different levels of protection to different spaces. During the lesson, attention will also be paid to the importance of a password manager. Students will be encouraged to develop an understanding of how it works and what protective function it performs. Focusing on the manager will prompt consideration of its role, how the tool makes management easier, and which responsibilities it shifts to the user. These tools are presented as helpers, not magical solutions. They shape our everyday habits. Students will be encouraged to consider why responsibility is needed when choosing where to entrust our data. The topic of passwords encourages taking responsibility for one's digital space and making decisions that truly meet personal and academic needs. The lesson will consistently encourage asking questions, not only how, but also why. Students will be prompted to reflect on technology, what shapes their decisions, and when it is worth taking precautionary measures. The project Cybersecurity with Minecraft. A sum of €50,525.18 has been allocated for the project's implementation, funded by the 2021 to 2027 European Union's Digital Europe Programme, €25.26259, and co-financed by the General Financing Funds of the Republic of Lithuania, 25.26259 euros. The lesson package can be downloaded from the specified website.